Professor Park is from the Department of U-City Design and Engineering at the Suwon University in Suwon. You know, I really enjoyed visiting there, and we saw a very nice video, but maybe you could take a little bit more time to talk a little bit about your community, introduce it from perhaps the historical point of view.
Yeah. Suwon is located in the south of Seoul, which is the capital city in South Korea, just 15 miles away from Seoul. And as we have a reception last night at the Samsung Experience, Suwon is a home city of Samsung. So as you can imagine, there are lots of high advanced researchers and scholars and engineers live together inside the city. And Suwon is 200 years old, and its population is about a little bit over than 1 million. And the one thing I want to stress on Suwon is the first city in Korea developed under the concept of urban planning.
So, you know, you've been working very hard to develop policies for your citizens, particularly from a digital point of view. Can you talk a little bit about the information and communications technologies promotion that you do among your citizens?
Mm-hmm. We provide a kind of e-administration service. So every Suwon citizen can see how city is doing in terms of education, in terms of environment, in terms of communication, in terms of everything we do. So through the internet or through the mobile service, through the smartphone, every citizen can see what the city is doing. One thing we want to talk about is the whole PC program. We also gather second-hand PC from the people and then give them to the people who are disenfranchised. And lots of electronic services are going on in Suwon City. You can imagine every kind of services being provided by Suwon City, like crime prevention, fire protection, and traffic information and education, everything together.
So a lot of cities in Korea talk about transparency and the need for transparency, particularly in digital documents. And you know, that's a unique attribute of some of the Asian cities. They require these documents, and it's important to get them. Can you talk a little bit about the whole concept of transparency and access to information for all of your citizens?
Mm-hmm. As I mentioned before, all kinds of information and documentation can be reviewed by the internet service. So we try to provide as best as we can do in terms of transparency. For example, any citizen can review the construction site through the internet, and they can review the construction document and drawings and all city's financial information and what's going on in the city administration level.
That's very good. One of the things that I found very interesting is the work that you're doing to try and close the gap between education and getting those young people into proper work environments. But in order to get the jobs, you have to get the industries, to get the businesses in your communities. So how are you going about attracting businesses and industries to your community?
I want to tell about the job in threefold. The first one is the Suwon City built a business complex which is comprising of 1 million square meters. This is for attract the business and industry. We provide very cheap land and working space. And second one is Suwon City also built 9 factory buildings for small and medium-sized enterprises with a very cheap price. And third one is, as you saw in the video file, we constructed the Gwangyo Techno Valley, which in Gwangyo Techno Valley, lots of the high-tech, innovative companies and research institutes come together. Its size is about 261 square meters, and 200 R&D institute and venture companies entered in this Gwangyo Techno Valley. So we provide that kind of factories and lands and the Techno Valley system so that we promote companies and people to come to our city.
Well, in fact, the concept of retention, which has been a very important part of this particular conference, retention of talent in your community is a very important part of your policies. Can you explain a little bit about the programs to help employment grow in your community?
Mm-hmm. One thing I want to tell is that Suwon City has a support center, employment support center. So we collect all information from the job seekers about their profiles. We also get some information from the companies, what kind of persons they want to hire. And then we do some kind of provide matching service between demand and supply. And we also provide a re-education system for the job seekers. And so that kind of the support system we promote, we help the unhired people to get his or her wanted job. And the other thing I want to stress on is, as I told you, Samsung is in our city. So Samsung supports and sponsors and distribute a lot of scholarships to the students. So as I'm working in the Seungkyungan University, they give us a lot of money for undergraduate students, and then they support the full 4 years, from including tuition and stipends, all living costs. And then when students graduate, they enter Samsung company directly. So as you can see here, students come to our city for their undergraduate degree, and then after graduation, they stay in our city, working for Samsung as well as some other companies related to the Samsung.
So there are a lot of universities, of course, in your community, and they're very supportive. But you have this program with Meister High School. What's that about?
Meister High School is a kind of special school to educate very talented the high school students in areas of the communication and computer science and those kind of things. So, and then when they graduate, they also hired the Samsung companies or some other innovative companies.
You know, when I traveled through some of the schools, I was mightily impressed. You know, there are a lot of schools that are trying to teach English to local Koreans. Koreans tend to see the English language as very difficult. And so they work very hard at getting them to start very young, at very young ages. That enthusiasm for education is across the entire spectrum of education in various sectors. Can you talk a little bit more about that level of enthusiasm and maybe give some examples of how the kids are brought into those schools? And in one case, we actually enjoyed a lot of video conference capabilities that these kids had, and your replacement for the day, he participated with me one day, and your colleague, his daughter was actually in one of the schools and saw that whole activity go on.
Yeah, I think in Korea, education is very competitive. The reason is that we strongly believe that education is a key factor for intelligent and sustainable communities. We believe that, right? So by providing better and the best education for the children, we believe we build the intelligent and sustainable communities. People say sustainability is energy saving and carbon dioxide reduction. We don't think so. Education is the much higher priority compared to that kind of the energy and the carbon dioxide. And we Korean is very enthusiastic about our education. So in Suwon City also has spent, let me read the number here, $435 million US. Can you believe that? We spent that kind of money for the last 6 years for providing better education to the students here. And we also special purpose school, like School of the Foreign Language. You visited
Foreign languages in the Jeonji Suwon International High School?
Yeah, International High School. That school is constructed for the children whose parents come from abroad. So as I told you, Samsung has a lot of the foreign employees. So to provide a better education for their children, we built that kind of a special school.
In fact, my sense is over the years going to Korea, it's becoming much more international, and Suwon wants to become an international city. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that point?
Yes, we, Suwon City also do a lot of the international activities. For example, we host and also attend international conference. I also write down some of the examples. One is the International Association of Peace Messenger Cities of United Nations. We also actively participated in the accounting audit city of CityNet, and we also a member of the World Waters Council and an executive member of the International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives, and the list goes on. One thing I want to stress on is WHO, World Health Organization, approved Suwon as a certified safe city in the world. And so we are, as I told you, we actively involved in the international activities. And second one is, I want to tell is Suwon City has sisterhood cities in 16 cities in 13 countries. One thing I want to tell you is that Korea was one of the poorest country. After Korean War, nothing was left. The U.S. GDP is just about $67 US. We were very poor, but nowadays Korea was ranked top 10 country in terms of the trade volume, and so we think it is our time to return what we have benefited from the Western countries. So we built a Suwon village in one city in Cambodia. So we built a school for them, we built a hospital for them, and Suwon's citizen officials travel there and to help them and to provide their supplies, and the list goes on. So we do that kind of, how can I say, international welfare and helping others.
That's great. By the way, Professor Park was very nervous about doing this in English. Isn't he doing a great job? I think so. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Now, when I arrived in Suwon, I was struck by a brand that you use. The Westerners sort of look at the word happy in a little different way. And yet the brand here is Happy Suwon. And you know, as the day went on, I actually got to like it. So tell us a little bit about your Happy Suwon brand. And you're fiercely proud of that logo. And tell us a little bit more about it.
Even though I live in Suwon, I write down what happy means here. H means harmonious, A means abundant, and the first P means paramount, and the second P means prosperous, and finally the Y means young. So this, each letter is what we are aiming to achieve.
But it's more than that. It's also trying to talk about making the community a happy and prosperous community. Yeah. And as a result of the kind of work that you and your community have done, you've actually done that. All the people there were extremely pleased and happy to be part of the community. One of the things that you've been able to achieve is to create that unique social net for the people to be part of. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Even though we try to make our city more prosperous and abundant, but we also consider the people, disenfranchised people. So we provide a kind of education system for the older people, non-educated people, for the poor people. Suwon City has that kind of active role to do that. So last year, we built the Suwon Employment Center for this kind of enfranchised people, and through this service, let me read the number here. 5,000 people were educated through that kind of a center at the 19 different locations.
And over the years, I think it's like 40,000, 50,000 people have been educated that way. And you also use your civic administration as a model for how the rest of the community should act. So in fact, you set policies towards the advancement of technologies and new practices and ways in which to do things. And so you actually bring people into the administration to learn. Can you talk a little bit about that?
A little bit redundant to what I've told before, but as I mentioned, the best policy is just to make every information transparent to the people by using the e-administration service. So we put every information, we put every detailed future plan in the website and people can see. And the other thing is not only we put information to the web, but also people can use the information for their daily life, like downloading the traffic system and crime and crime prevention, that kind of things.
Okay. And we only have a few minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about your infrastructure. You have probably legendary infrastructure. People look to Korea to say, my God, I wish we had that capability in our community. Can you talk a little bit about it? Because quite frankly, you also refer to it as anywhere, anytime, any device, and ubiquitous as hell. So,
as Lou mentioned, his wife is Korean, and
young me.
You know the Korean word, the fast, bali. Yeah, the first word the foreigners learn in Korea is bali, which means fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's what she says to me in the morning. Get out.
And as long as that's not the last thing she says at night.
We Korean love.
Sorry, Lou.
We Korean love being fast, being speedy. So that's why we developed our country so fast just after the Korean War. So ubiquitous means we provide information anywhere, anytime. When I took a taxi in Manhattan last night, we asked the taxi driver, is it safe to be around here at nighttime? And the taxi driver told us that, yeah, it's very safe because cop is everywhere. Because cop is everywhere, he thinks this area is safe. This is analogous to what I want to tell you. We try to make our society information anytime, anywhere, any mobile device. So make the citizens to feel comfortable and satisfied and more productive and more sustainable in that way.
Good. Well, we're at the end. Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion about Suwon and your participation in ICF?
Yeah. Our mayor couldn't come here because of his private schedules and private matters, so I'm representing the Suwon mayor. It is a great honor and privilege to be here. We are very happy to be selected as the top 7 communities, and not only our being happy, but also we want to contribute to the ICF as well as some other cities to share our information, and we also learn from other cities what they are doing for their intelligent communities. So we want to keep in touch with other cities, and we want to try to do our best to make our society more sustainable and more intelligent.
And they're part of our 15 new board members on the Intelligent Community Association. So thank you very much.
Thank you.